So this is a post-millennial thing, and it says, CBS says that they are ready to worship Sam Smith and Satan. So basically, Sam Smith did like a pretty standard, in my opinion,
Didn't he do the exact same thing that, what was the other dude? Lil Nas X, didn't he do his own devil thing like last year?
Yeah. It was some version of that.
Like, there's just basically a thing where gay guys are like, hey, it's funny if I like do the Satan worshiping
and
thing.
they know. It honestly was that thing where it was like, there was a part where I'll do this devil thing and it'll like trigger conservatives. And then it like kind of I think I have a theory, and tell me if it's what you think of this. Because basically you said when we were talking about this, that it essentially was just like conservatives are back to their like, their old
nerds.
thing of just being like, they're taking the Lord's name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, oh, he's worshiping the devil.
I can't watch this. They have Satan imagery, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing I was thinking was, if you look at every person that was like conservative, everyone that like kind of got really kicked out was all people that were like conservative, but they were also funny.
Yeah.
So if you look at people, they were being funny. But comedians mostly, if people that were like, hey, the purpose of me being here is to try to be funny, obviously you're going to say what you think or whatever. But the people that were like, hey, I am a political person, I'm a political commentator, but also I make jokes.
Yeah.
That was the most canceled demographic of people.
I think so,
whether that be Andrew Tate, Gavin McInnes, Milo. Because the most canceled was, I'm going to say terrible stuff, and then I'm going to say jokes, and it's going to be a little wishy-washy, which is which.
Yeah, you're like, which is which, yeah.
Whereas a comedian, you go, I'm all, like, you're like, because to be a comedy person in life and in career, you essentially have to give up the idea that I matter.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're trying to be a political person, like,
yeah, you can't be like a soldier. You can't be like, oh my God, like if our party doesn't win, this is like the death of America. You're like, that's not funny.
It's almost like it's like a hit. You have to be like, hey, for you to be able to do this game, you have to like admit what you do doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have to like almost admit that you're like worthless scum. That doesn't need to be here.
Yeah.
And then you can do it a little bit. But if you say like, hey, this is very important. What I do is very important. I'm trying to change the world. But also I'm going to like joke, that's the most canceled demographic.
I mean, if you think that your jokes are going to be like the difference between like the end of civilization or not, they're just like not anything funny.
No, I think they're just funny people, so they make jokes.
Yeah.
But they're also so hated from their other stuff. So anyways, I would say that's the most canceled demographic. And my point of even bringing this up was because all of those people were what in the like Trump era, the conservative movement was like kind of a fun movement.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like the Trump era. And then a post
They finally dug themselves out of the nerd hole.
Yes. And then post-Trump, now it's gone. My way that I described it is that movement went back to like being maternal.
Yeah.
So it went from kind of being like, fuck you, to kind of being like, we're worrying about the children. Like, we need to get Christ back here. They're doing devil
The
imagery.
devil's on CBS.
Right.
And you're like, so if you just ignore it, it'll go away.
Yeah. I
mean, they've literally been complaining about the devil on TV like since Alice Cooper, or maybe even before that.
I think that people are also going to have to realize that all the things that they were calling conservatives, they go, yeah, the conservatives, because even people, they were sort of saying, like, conservative people were sort of saying things like, oh, if you don't like it, why don't you just turn the channel?
Yeah,
like they've been forever. It was like, oh, you're triggered by something you don't like. And you're just like, you'd think, I guess they at least waited like a few years to be like, I'm triggered.
Yeah, hey. They're like, hey, like they're literally like, oh, who are the sponsors during this telecast?
That's correct.
Time to write them.
And it was like a lot of conservatives being like legitimately mad about this, being like, it not even in like a fun way. They were just like, can you believe what they're doing this? And it was like, I saw that after I saw
like the fabric of society is like being denigrated.
I saw it on like normal things, and I saw it as like, like my ex-girlfriend was like a fashion stylist or whatever, and it was just like, that seemed like very par for the course for any gay guy thing. They're just like, they all think that kind of red imagery. And it also gets hot. Like those kind of things where they go, it like, just like, it's like a trend where they go, oh, this like devil thing's like in right now.
Yeah.
Just the way that like, oh, fucking leather is in right now. And then you'll see a year where they're like, we all trying to pretend we're punks or whatever. That was like the Machine Gun Kelly era is like in right now of us trying to pretend that we're like, 90s punk aesthetic or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, Little Nas X thing was literally 2 years ago. He did his gay, satanic, evil, and then whatever. And they were like, everybody was going after him for that. It is 666 Nikes and all that.
Yes.
It's same old shit.
It's same old shit as like 12 years ago.
And and I think part of them is like they now realize they're like, oh, you know what? We were like poking them for a bit and we weren't getting like the rise, but I think we're going to get the rise with going back to the devil stuff. Like for a while, they probably would have been like,
you know what? I know what you mean. Oh, wait. Whoa. Sorry. I think I misinterpreted.
I mean, Sam
I think
Smith,
I saw that backwards.
Yeah, no, I think Sam Smith and like, they're like, oh, we're going to be the devil. Like, and we're going to like basically trigger all these people and like make them all upset over this devil stuff when it's like, whatever. I don't think they like Sam Smith is not actually like, I mean, maybe he is, but probably not like, drinking baby blood and all the things.
No, I'm sure he just is like
thinks it's funny.
He's just like a fat gay guy in Hollywood.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
He's just like a musician.
And he's probably around all that nonstop 100%. And whatever. I'm sure he
Although
thinks
he did have some
things.
shout out to Balenciaga or something in the song. Wait, I don't know.
But that was one where it'd be like, that was one. I feel like that was the movement of like, when you see something like that happen, that's the last drift of like normal people being like, yeah, like I think there's a lot of normal people that are like, maybe I'm a conservative.
Yeah,
you know what
of
I mean?
course. Well, the Overton window.
And then there was
just
sort of like the Andrew Tate kind of people and those kind of people being like, maybe I'm conservative. And then they look on Twitter and like every conservative's like, can you believe that they're like denigrating Jesus at the Grammys? And everyone's like, okay, so I'm not that.
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
not that.
Like, definitely have no issue with a musician pretending to be the devil.
Yeah.
You're like, that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
I got nothing there.
Because it does switch to like, there's one where it'd be like, I was kind of like, there was the 7 years ago, it's like just nonstop in your face, like everyone should be gay, like, then there's the stuff that's happening now of like, let's fucking, every kid needs to transition. It's like over the top. And then then there's these issues where it was like, well, that's just like, you could literally watch every, movie or band or like anything and be like.
I will say though, I want, like, we'll never know the answer to this, but I do want it. Cause right after his thing ended, it was like a Pfizer ad came up. Like that segment was sponsored by Pfizer. And like, is someone like out there being like, dude, watch this. Okay. Cause they probably have the option to place that Pfizer thing at any point of the telecast. Like that's probably the agreement is go like, we just like flash it a couple times. They go, dude. After the Sam Smith devil thing, we're doing the Pfizer ad.
Like, we have to. You're saying there's a guy that works at the Grammys.
Fuck yeah.
That's like,
they're like, the producer is like, dude, we're the Pfizer ads going after Sam Smith. No questions. Watch this shit.
And
it's probably a calculated thing. They're like, look how much just talk about the Grammys there's going to be. Just in general. They go like, I don't know if it, like, I could be, I'm totally speculating.
Do you think the Pfizer's sort of given up on trying to get like people that like Republicans that aren't getting vaxxed and they're just like I don't even know what their marketing strategy is. Are they sort of like, hey, we have our customers.
Yeah.
We're not trying to get new customers. We're just trying to convince our old customers. We want it to be a subscription service.
Kind of.
I mean,
they're playing the fear game with that because most of their stuff is not the fear game for all their other products. Like they're not like Viagra is not like, it's not a fear-based thing. They're just like, hey, we have this problem, this product that solves a problem you have.
That would be funny.
But they're not like the vaccines solving a problem you have. They're just like, hey, you might die.
Yeah. Well, they should say that with like, they should have guys dropping dead of like embarrassment in the Viagra commercials. Because you're right, the Viagra commercials, it's all very like, I took Viagra and I'm living life.
It's some guy who just like pounded his 65-year-old wife.
And he's happy,
he looks
right?
at the camera and goes, wee.
But what they should do is go the other way around where it's like, it just like very morbid and it starts, you just see the guy's feet like swaying.
Like, or like on the gurney or whatever. Or
no, I was saying.
Oh yeah, like suicide.
Yeah. And then you just pan up and he's there. He's struggling his last breath. And then you pan down, his wife's smoking a cigarette on the bed. And then she calls her friend and she goes, he couldn't do it again. And
he finally kicked the bucket.
Viagra. At his own
Pfizer.
hand. Pfizer. Viagra by Pfizer. So that's what they should do. Is they have the Viagra ads or that. It's like, and you're like, you're an anti fucking juicer. I don't know what you call it.
Just anti-pill.
Any girl that's against
anti-pharma. Yeah. I don't know, but that Pfizer spot immediately followed.
That is hilarious.
That is some good shit right there.
Harry Styles had his dress on again.
He just wears a dress. I don't know.
His dress. Someone posted that being like, "Oh, he's got to be messing with us now."
Yeah,
And someone was,
okay.
Yo, he legitimately like he just loves wearing dresses.
Yeah, I mean
So-
him and like half the world.
Just say you're gay. I
Literally
guess.
half the men in the world are like also wear dresses. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that he's got to be a bit gay though. I'm just saying, a little light in the loafers with that many dresses.
I would think so, or he's like just absolutely just plowing, and it's just a joke.
Do you think it's straight? You think it's got the David Bowie thing where he just knows he gets the press every time he puts the
Yeah.
dress on? And, okay, I'm going to my thing. Okay, what dress are we wearing this time? We know we're gonna get the
I
press.
mean,
or do you think
he's not wrong? Some people are really like real master manipulators.
You're right, because
in that
I'm
way.
doing the thing that I hate when other people do, that I'm taking what he does at any sort of face value. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because when I'm seeing that, I'm like, you're right, because when I'd watch reality shows and stuff like that, someone would be like, "No, I think he just likes it," and I'm like, "Maybe he's just gay," and it's like, these are calculated boardroom moves.
I mean, remember when fucking Trey and Matt wore the dresses to the Oscars?
Uh-huh.
Talk of the town.
It was the talk of the
They
town.
still reference it.
But that's what Harry Styles gets to do it 40 times and it still gets to be the talk of the town.
Yeah, I don't know how much he wears a dress like daily though.